Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down. Today, I'm going to do a quick tip video. Something that when I was a young man, I wish someone had taught me. I'm going to show you guys what I do for shoe care. When it comes to my specific care of leather shoes, this is not for suede or rough out or even sneakers. This is particularly for my dress shoes, my black leather, brown leather, chestnut, and wood, brown leather styles of boot that I want to high shine and high patina. Today, I'm going to talk about cream polishes versus wax polishes and how to do shoe care. The reason this came about is the other day I did a video on my Crockett & Jones shoe collection, and one of my shoes actually surprised me when I bought it out the box. It had a nice little scuff on the right lateral piece of the vamp. And so I wanted to bring out today and start working on it. I figured today would be a good chance to do a nice little video showing you guys what I use, how I use it, what's the need for a wax polish, what's the need for a cream polish, and then frankly, what do I need to do to use as a nourisher for my shoes? So if this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. So, guys, welcome back. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to introduce you to some of the products that I choose to use. They're high quality products. You've probably seen most of these products in, if not many other videos, also in store. These are products I use for each and every pair of my leather brogues, my leather derbies, my leather Chelsea boots. Everything in that sort is using these quality products. And no, this is not a sponsored video. These are just products I really truly believe in. First, as my wax polish, I love to use Angelus wax polishes for my shoes. It's a product I've chose to use different products in the past. Some did a good job, some did an okay job. For me, Angelus wax polish products are some of the best that I've used outside of Saphir. And even in Saphir, I choose Angelus wax polish over Saphir. So this is my black polish I'm going to use as a wax. For my cream polish, I will use the Saphir Pommadier 01 black cream base polish. I will get into it, what it is, the difference that I've learned over the years, what the two bases of the polishes are. So I have a wax polish, a cream polish, and to begin the shoe care, I use a cream base Renovateur from the brand Saphir. This is like a cleaner, nourisher, and hydrator for your shoe just before doing the polish. And so I'm going to go over and show you how to do this over the next 10 minutes. And you should be able to complete a nice pair of shoe shining in a 20-minute time period and have a great looking pair of shoes at the end of your work. These are the three products. I also choose to use a fairly priced Kiwi horsehair brush. There are many on the market. You choose as you see fit. The ones that I've chosen that are more expensive did not do better than the Kiwi. Kiwi is like a $15 brush. Okay to use, especially if you have a lot of pair of shoes that you don't want to change the pigment of the brush. I have a brown brush, a chestnut brush, a black brush. So you want to choose something that's of high quality, but not something going to break the bank, because you're going to be reusing this one on your certain pigment. Next up, what I have is the actual gloves that I use. I've purchased a package of terry cloth gloves that I use when I'm doing my polishes. I use one to put the polish on and one to get the polish off with. I know that which ones I'm using by the left or right hand and what I've marked it inside the glove. But what I use here, this is for the cream Renovateur and the cream polish. And this glove here, as you can see, is a little bit more used. It has the black wax polish availability on it, and I mark these accordingly the way I use them. First, I'm going to bring out the actual Crockett & Jones boot that I want to get done. The left one was fine, so I'm going to do that one last in the process. The one that I want to get repaired or show the scuff and get the scuff off, I'm not sure if it's going to show up here well, but here there's a slightly gray haze to the actual leather materials. So what I do, it's almost like an ASMR. You really sit back and relax, turn on one of your favorite sport games, turn on some of your favorite music, some of your favorite jazz, get your materials ready, and just have at it. I have changed my pants so that I won't get my pants dirty. My shirt, I hope that I don't get anything on my shirt. I did not feel like changing my shirt, but we're going to go first with the Renovateur. The Renovateur is a hydrator. It's not a pigment-based cream polished. It's just something I choose to use. Over time, I've learned that it does hydrate the leathers well, and it Once you do that, you let it sit for about 5 minutes, then you come back. And so within those 5 minutes, you're going to see me just do a split screen and come back to it. And you just, to me, like I said, I was never taught this. I had to go through different, asking questions, and then YouTube came about years ago and then showed me a little bit. But basically, you just take the terry cloth glove, and I do small medallion size clockwise circles throughout the entire shoe. If your shoe is dirty, I would suggest that you take some time to wipe it with a leather cleaner first to get the heavy soiling dirt off, even if you have something like a brush to get that off. Secondly, I've already done that to these shoes the other day when I did bring them out, and so I didn't have to do that now, but I will suggest that you do something like a leather cleaner, not something with a lot of solvent in it, unless your shoe is terribly dirty. Mine was not, so I just took a quick swipe with a leather wipe and got them clean. And like I said, just small medallion circles clockwise to get the nourishing that your shoe needs. And as you can see, these are a very high quality leather. And so you really want to have these shoes for years and years to come. So keeping them as clean and as well cared for as possible is always the best way to go. And like I said, just take your time, listen to your jazz, man. Just sit back, especially you young fellas. It's nothing to rush. It's really about using the 20 minutes it takes to do a total pair of shoes. And that's all it takes. With each step, it's about 5 minutes. And each step, not even 5 minutes. Like this is going to take me 3 to 4 minutes to do it. Then you want to let it dry a little bit and then wipe it down. So now that the Renovateur, which is like I said, it's an unpigmented hydrator of your leather. And what that does, once this gets in and soaks in, it starts to make the leather, or continues to keeps the leather supple. The grain stays very, very beautiful. It helps to keep the creasing out as well, because the more supple the shoe, the less creasing I have come to find out get. Others may think differently, but that's what I found when I do use this Renovateur versus when I don't. So I'm going to put this shoe down and talk briefly. As I let this dry for about 5 minutes, I'm going to talk briefly about what it is that I've learned over the years when using a cream versus a polish that is made of wax. And so when you're doing shoe care, hydration is key. So I always do a 3-step process. If I don't want a heavy shine on a shoe, or I'm not trying to make the toe tip shine extra shiny, I don't usually go to the wax on those particular shoes. The reason that I use a cream pigment, and I'm going to use the black pigment on these, is because this one just has less solvents. That's what it is. It's a more cream-based polishing agent. It still has pigment to it. It still brings forth a polish, but not something that's super shiny. This one here as a hydrator is very much so, like I said, less solvent inside of it. The turpentines inside this one are not man-made. They are very, very well nurturing for the shoe. And they do the job in creating a pigment. So if you have a shoe like this one is black, I'm going to use on black. But say you have a light shade of brown and you want to do a burnishing or a something where you antique a shoe. That's when you'll use black on a brown, but you want to use the cream base versus using a wax base. The wax base will not do anything close to what you're trying to bring into the shoe. A cream based polish will nurture the shoe. It will take some of the pigment and darken it versus blackening it. That's the thing that I've learned about using this type of polish. So if I have a burgundy shoe and I want to make it just a little bit black at the toe tip, I'll use the cream polish instead of a wax polish. I enjoy using the Saphir products because they are the best that I found. The Pommadier is one of the best creams that I've come across in a long time. And I've been using this for about 10 years now. Maybe even longer than that. Maybe about 8 to 10 years, I'm going to say true to. Very well, very, very well maintained brand. This is one of the best and most illustrious shoe care product brands on the market. So this is Saphir. They run pretty high, but if you're polishing an $800 pair of shoes, it's nothing. It's a $26 investment for something you're going to use for years and years to come. Versus when it comes to the cream based, the wax based, I have found that the shoe wax polish Angelus is to me my favorite. This is a hard wax pigmenting agent. And this one here is the things about waxes. It smells good too. The things about waxes, they have more solvent and they have a very hard wearing surface. So when you're looking to protect the shoe, say if you're going to use it in situations where you have a lot of water, rain coming around, sleet and snow, it's a protector as well as a shiner, because the hard wax, they pigment and they saturate and they create a hard shell around the shoe. Now the thing about waxes, when you use them, and when I've used them in the past, you want to make sure that you don't concentrate so much on the vamp of a shoe, because if you do that and you use a pigmented wax, sometimes it will show that wax is overdone, and it will begin to create a haze in the creases of your vamp. So when you use a wax, just take it one step less than you would with a cream based like Saphir polish. So the Saphir, I'll nurture it with about 2 to 3 layers sometimes, and make sure that's really thoroughly into the shoe. Then I hit that with the horsehair brush, and I'm done. If I want this one particular in, which I am going to use today because I want to make the toe tap shine or the toe tip shine, I'll just use one coat, maybe 1.5. That's it. That's all you need. And you could use that one dab throughout the whole entire shoe. So this is the difference between the two. To me, that's what I've come to learn. The cream, hydrator, pigmented, nourishing. The wax, pigmented, not so much of a hydration, but a protecting and a solvent base that can bring out that high gloss shine. I'm going to wait another few minutes to let the hydrator saturate, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, gentlemen, now we're back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the cream-based polish, do a couple applications in a similar medallion size and scope, but with the cream base, I'm going to go, as I've always traditionally done, is a counterclockwise motion when I'm doing the cream base versus the actual application of the Renovateur. I don't know why I do that. There's nothing technical about it, I don't believe. I just picked that up, saw someone doing it at a shoe shining spot, and potentially just put it into my repertoire of skill sets. So what I do is I take a dab and just go counterclockwise. For some reason, I feel that motion, although that's just simply soothing, is just makes me feel like I'm picking up some of the pigment in the reverse motion of my agitation of the materials in the product. Like I said, this is a beautiful black shoe. This is the Lingfield. If you guys have not watched my Crockett and Jones video, this is the Lingfield Chelsea boot by the House of Crockett and Jones. One of my favorite Chelsea boots in my collection. This is a very well-worn boot. I've had this boot for some years. I also suggest that if you do wear your boots throughout the year, not so much just in spring and summer, but if you do have it around solvents like salt in the wintertime, I suggest that you use a sole protector. They have these solvents that you can use to protect the sole of your shoes, offered by Saphir as well. And I'm sure many others offer that particular solvent. But what it does is it penetrates the leather that you have as a sole, and it keeps that from being able to soak up so much water. It seeps into the threads, and it protects the shoe and your foot from the elements. With this, to me, I would say when applying, I do a firm press on the first go around, and then the second go around, I just use a slightly less firm press. That's all about how you feel your shoe will feel in your hand and how it starts to look with the pigment and the treatment that you've given it. I do go around the actual edges of the shoe leather sole with the pigment that I've chosen, especially if it's black. It helps to look, make the leather look nourished and good on the sole as well. It is a leather sole, so it will take the pigment and make it look better. So I don't hesitate to put that pigmented cream all over my shoe. Now once I've done that with the shoe, and I've put the cream pigment all over, like I said, I try to go, I'm always one to go in excess. I know you don't have to go in excess all the time, but I'm one to really go in excess a lot of times when doing these particular shoes and items, because I want them to be well protected, but you don't want something that's going to rub off on your trouser. And this is, just a quick demonstration. This is not something I'm going to show you guys. I usually do this at a bench in my house, relaxing. For the sake of the video, I am doing this in hand, so I will have a little more pressure and a little more room to work with the shoe at my bench. But this particular wax has taken the blemish that I was hoping it would right out. And that's the thing about these polishes. They help very well with covering up everything you've done to your shoe, especially if it's a high grade leather and high quality shoe manufacturer that you purchased this shoe from. So now I'm going to let that set for about 5 minutes. I'm going to come back with my horsehair brush and then hit it with the little horsehair brush for about a couple swipes with that. I'll do that for about 30 seconds just to get some of the pigment gloss on it, and then I'll hit it with the wax treatment, and then that's when I go with the heavy brush for about 5 minutes, just sitting back, relaxing, doing the motion, and then the shoe should be all done. All right, gentlemen, it's been about 5 minutes, so now I am going to start hitting the shoe with the horsehair brush. There are several ways that this is something that is just therapeutic. It's fun to do. Like I said, I sit back and I'll turn on some Miles Davis, some John Coltrane, some Cannonball Adderley, or even just some chill house music, just to get my, just to get a relaxing vibe. Turn on the sports, smoke a cigar. So many things you can do with this type of ASMR. It's just relaxing to do. So guys, that's what I wanted to get done with the actual cream base. So now I'm going to grab my brush and I'm going to do the actual Angelus hard wax. And I'm just going to rub just a little bit, not much working into this shoe. It's not going to need much. This shoe is very well taken care of, and I just want to show you some of the pigment that this one would actually give when you start to apply this. Now this one, I'll go back into the clockwise rotation to apply the wax into the buildup over the cream. And like I said, there's not too much you want. I do put more on the hindquarters of the shoe, and I do put more at the tip of the shoe when I'm doing this with the particular wax, because that's where I want the most shine from a wax to come from. But like I said, I do not put a lot into the vamp of the shoe, because this wax, even though it is nourishing, it will tend to turn hazy if you put too much into the creases of a shoe. That's just what a wax product can do. So now, and then also, when it comes to the actual product of the wax polish, I don't do the small medallions as much as I will have done with the actual cream polishes and Renovateur. I tend to do broader strokes to press in more of the wax into the shoe and spread it than I will with the actual Renovateur or the actual cream based polish, the 01 Saphir Pommadier. And so now I have it where I want it as a cream applied, a Renovateur cream applied, a wax or a cream polish applied, and now the wax polish applied into the shoe. And now I'll just take my time. I'm not going to go for a high polish shine on this particular shoe. This is a Chelsea boot. I don't want a high polish shine. I just want the boot to come out fantastic looking, of a new shoe almost. So I'll just take my time for about 5 minutes. And I will sit here and I will hit the horsehair on the shoe for about 5 minutes. It's going to be just a sit back and relax type of moment. I will show you the end product in a few photos once I'm done. I hope this helped you guys. Hope these tips are helpful for you young men who are going into wearing these high grade of leather shoes and want to take care of them. Like I said, I use Angelus wax products. They are some of the best wax products. That's a very reputable company. Saphir is what you're probably going to hear most on the webs from suggestions and YouTube. It's a very well made product as well. And that's what I use on my shoes to keep them looking tip top and in shape. I hope, like I said, this did educate you and somewhat entertain you. And I hope that if it did, it'll help you subscribe to the channel for more helpful tips and fragrances, helpful tips in wine, cigar smoking, and of course, keeping your wardrobe in tip top shape when it comes to shoes and clothing. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.